Support for the Double I Show comes from Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
From California.
Check it in from the left coast where we take sound that combines sunshine with rhyme, move 'em around. Take it slow, watch the smoke we blow. Bring California swing and this thing for show. Well, hey there, baby doll, dance the go-go. Off a little mentally, I see it in slow-mo. Hollywood, the east side, Hub City, and Frisco. Guys to the flyers, fires up in the disco. Whoa, whoa, oh, now here we go. Mira, delincuentes, bum rush.
Welcome to the Double I Show.
Incoherent idiocy.
I'm Sweet Tea, and with me as always...
R.W. King. How you doing tonight, T? Another wonderful night. How's everything going?
Feeling great there, King. It's a wonderful night in California, man.
No, absolutely, man. Another wonderful show getting ready to pop off. Dr. X, thanks for all the work. Hey, shout out to you, Dr. X.
Yeah, did it in the first opening. Love it.
No, absolutely. We keep forgetting him, man, but he told us we had to do it early, dude. So, yeah, we had to do it.
Hey, jumping all over you right before the pre-show. And
yeah, man. So, hey, T, man, why don't you talk about our stats a little bit, man? They're popping up again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're growing. It's going crazy right now. Dude, nuts. I mean, we're about to hit another big milestone for us.
And absolutely, man. We want to apologize a little bit, too. I've had a few guys, and we've had some emails coming in about our newsletter. And there's a spot on our website that talks about our newsletter. And, guys, yeah, we're getting to that, man. It's just, yeah, I mean, in the beginning, we thought it'd be really easy to do that. We thought we'd have time, a lot of time to do something like that.
It's just something that we haven't done yet. We haven't had time to do it, and that's part of the growing pains.
Right, man. So those threatening emails, guys, you can go ahead and stop because we hear you. You know, we're going to go ahead and fix that.
You can keep them coming. I don't mind. I kind of get a kick out of them. They're funny.
You know, but hey, we hear you guys, and we're going to get working on that soon. So what else is going on, T?
Oh, you know what? I wanted to give a shout out real quick to Mikey Taylor at Santiago High School, man. He reached out to us, and he's a listener.
All right, man.
You know?
Absolutely, man.
It's a high school kid listening to this show. I think it's great.
Planting the seed for the youngins.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
man.
And that's sort of awesome. Good, right? I mean, we sort of talked about that too, T, and I think you mentioned that, you know, possibly, you know, you were talking about how you felt about it and it sort of made you feel good because you felt like maybe we're help guiding these youths.
Yeah. You know, it's nice to know that, you know, something that we're saying is resonating with the younger generation. I love that, you know, and if we can add some kind of guidance for them, which is kind of scary at the same time, you know, and, you know, so be it.
Well, I think the thing, too, is like we talk about with, you know, I mean, being able to touch all sorts of people, different ages. That was our thought when we started. You know, we want to not just be toned into a certain subject and certain things and certain demographics. We want to reach everybody. And I think that sort of shows to you with a lot of the feedback, listening-ship that we get from women as well.
Yeah.
Now we're hitting the younger crowd, and there's actually younger people, you know, that are reaching out to us. I think that's pretty cool.
Can we even call this a show for men now then?
Yeah, I think we still have to, man, you know, because the reality is we sort of tailor it for that, you know. Well, I don't think our listenership's like, it's got to be like a bigger percentage, right?
Right. No, the percentage of men that listen to it still far outweigh the women.
Right.
But it's nice to have both. You know, it really is.
No, and like we said, we appreciate it all. Like we said, there's so many options out there for you guys. Fuck, we appreciate you guys taking your time to listen to us.
By the way, King, you know, you listen to podcasts all the time as well as I do. And you ever really notice how many podcasts there are out there?
Well, it's ridiculous, T, and we talk about that too all the time, and how these guys get their rankings and their ratings is based on downloads, but they're doing multiple shows a week, 5 shows a week, something like that.
Every day, some of them.
Right.
And they're maybe like 15, 20-minute shows.
Correct. You know what I mean? So everything's based on downloads and, you know, how many times their stuff gets downloaded. Well,
or once a week.
Right, exactly. And that's what sort of hurts us a little bit. I mean, we're still getting up there and we're doing good. But the thing that gets me is there's so many people out there that really don't touch on a lot of the things we do.
No, and it's not even close to the kind of content that we have. And I feel that's what really separates us from everybody else.
Right, exactly. And I think that's what we tried to accomplish from the beginning when we talked about it. You know, I mean, you know, in reality, right in the beginning, we talked and we said, hey, you know what, man, when you asked me to help, you know, or to be part of what you wanted to do, I said I only wanted to do sports.
Yeah.
And then you started talking to me about the format you were thinking about, and it's sort of, yeah, you know, whatever, man. It took a while for me to really sink in. And then I remember I came around and I talked about it, and we talked about it again, and, I mean, this is where we are now. And I think
it's a beautiful thing.
No, absolutely is. And I think, you know, reality is, you know, you got to take a lot of the credit for the show, T.
No,
you know, in the
it's
inception of the show. No, listen to me. In the beginning, I only wanted to do sports, and
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there.
yeah,
I didn't want to do anything else. I wanted to do an hour and a half sports show,
right.
and that's all I wanted to do.
But think of how many sports shows there are out there.
Yeah, it's okay. We'd still be the best one.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I believe that 100%. But that's my point. T is, I mean, the whole point of this whole show was that you almost imposed your will on this, on me, and I think our listeners need to understand where that came from, man. So, you know, I'm going to say thanks, T.
No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
You know,
for
and,
that.
and I wanted to make sure our listeners know what happened. You know, I mean, you know, I agree with you. This is our show, and I feel a big part of the show. But the inception of the show and the things like that, really, that's up to you, man. And you did a great job.
Oh, thank you. But this is a team effort. And, you know, I love the fact that you and I can kind of just bounce things off of each other. We may not agree on things, but I love how we can just kind of, you know, push each other and continue to push each other. And there's something that I want to talk about something, and you're like, I don't know, I don't feel it. And then same thing. You may want to talk about a topic, and I may not be feeling it, but then we talk it through. You know, and it's really a team effort. I love it. And, you know, Dr. X, when he chimes in, I mean, it's just great. I'm having a lot of fun with this.
You know, I remember when we started talking about it, T, and it's going to sort of roll us into our first story, is we talked about where are we going to get the content for our shows.
Yeah.
And the reality is you kept telling me our listeners are going to give us the content.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it, and I didn't understand you. And the reality is the emails we get, the things we get, people touch on things, and we look at where they're sent from. And we've got a lot of emails and Getatus from our listeners in Michigan, T.
They're our second largest demographic.
You know, and hats off to Michigan. You know, we love you guys out there.
Big time shout out to Michigan.
And we're going to, you know, throw something on this show for you guys because we've gotten several different Getatus about why don't you talk about what the fuck's going on in Flint with their water. And understand, you know, we're thousands of miles away, T. It really doesn't affect us that much. We may see it on the news.
Yeah.
But we're like, yeah, whatever. We start looking into this, you know, after our third or fourth Getatus. And it's like, man, this was a pretty disturbing situation, man. So getting into it.
All right. Well, let the voice lead us in.
Yo, shout out to the voice, dog.
Shout out to the voice, and go
We got
ahead,
some
voice.
new stuff coming on, so go ahead and take us into it.
Take it away, voice.
The hot topic.
All right. So, you know, Flint, Michigan, man, just like you were saying, we're getting a lot of feedback from people over there, and this stuff is still happening. This stuff is still going on. When it started, what?
Yeah, wrap it in a shell for us, T. What's going on over there? So, because there may be some people out here not really understanding it.
Okay,
You know, so wrap it in a shell, man.
There's a huge water crisis in Flint, Michigan, right? So they started drawing from the Flint River, and it was heavily polluted. And this was going on, this was water for everybody in Flint, Michigan to drink. And this started back in 2013.
Well, this is just their basic water supply.
Correct.
You know, that you would come out of your tap or
Yes.
even your restroom or whatever
Anything.
else. Correct.
This is everything that they cooked with,
Right,
everything
right.
they bathed with. And this was highly, highly toxic water. And this was water that actually the Flint officials knew that was going on. They knew that it was toxic.
Well, I mean, and we saw pictures and we looked at stuff when we did the research. And Dr. X, hats off to you. You did great research again today, or this week for this subject. And the water was brown.
It was disgusting. Do you see those photos that he showed us?
But we were doing the other research, T, and there were other photos. And they said in the beginning the water looked normal, but the lead levels were so high and people started getting sick.
Yeah.
That's how it all came out.
That's how, yeah, exactly. And I think what you were talking about, like the parts per million were just out of control with the levels of toxicity. I don't know exactly what it was. And I know you threw that out there to me when we were talking about it in pre-show.
Well, what they did is they looked at all these, when the crisis was going on, they started looking at the pipe and the water supply, that thing that carries the supply. And there was some leakage and some seepage from one of the treatment plants. So it was getting too much of some chemicals and not enough of the others. And when that happened and they discovered it after months, they diverted it to the old system, the backup system. And a lot of the people were saying they stopped using that system because it was contaminated.
Oh, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, they started checking that. And basically lead comprised over 12% of the chemical buildup in those pipes. And the rest of it was other toxins and things that were bacteria that were in those pipes.
Right.
But the nastiest one is lead poisoning for people.
Well, and then I think separately from that, there was a, the Michigan, University of Michigan had did a separate study and found that it was 30.7% weight of lead in those pipes. So it was even worse than the 12% that it initially said.
It's just ridiculous to think, T, that any government official would try to hide something like that. And that's sort of what happened here. They actually changed the initial water supply from a certain lake that they were getting for years and years and years with no issues.
Right.
But the cost to pull it from that lake and treat it was pretty high. But they knew the water quality was much better. They had another nearby lake where the quality was pretty bad, and they were trying to fix the quality of the water for the last 5-6 years. They said they had it under control. They're going to start diverting the water supply from that lake. That's when they started having the problems. The initial source was bad water. And I believe that's sort of what led to it. When this water's coming in and they've treated it so much, that water has all that lead in it. It sticks in the pipes.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what happened. Then these people started getting sick, T. And one of the biggest things, and not drawbacks, I want to say, but not symptoms either, but I guess just results of this lead poisoning, these people are getting mental illness. And the spike in mental illness in Flint is outrageous.
Well, have you ever seen what lead does to a person? That's why they banned it in children's toys, and they test for all that stuff when it comes from other countries in manufacturing.
Absolutely.
It destroys the mind.
But seriousness, you know, and talking about it, it's a shame what's going on over there because of some people and the way that they handled it and mismanaged our government, the local government there. And that's really who to blame, T. And I think I want to touch on that a little bit too, that these people, the governor and all these people that were trying to hide this, they need to be sort of taken to court, man, and thrown in jail.
They should be in jail.
I mean, they really put a lot of people at risk and long term hurt them. I mean, to a point where it's probably you're going to look, there's probably going to be some causes of death here at some point. So why aren't these officials being held more in scrutiny, T? What do you think?
No, I absolutely agree with you with that. I think that they deserve to be in jail. They should be in jail. And it's just now, this year, that Flint water is starting to get better. Just now. And this started back in 2013.
Well, okay, and that's another thing that we're going to touch on, and I guess we'll just go now. But so this whole time this thing was going, FEMA and the government, the local government in Michigan.
Yeah.
They were funding to truck in drinking water and water supply to everybody there.
Yeah.
Not to use the water for bathing, for anything.
Yeah.
And they decided, you know what, man, it's just costing too much. We got to fix this water. And they keep saying it's fixed. But all these things are coming out and people are saying this thing still, it's not right. And they're just downplaying it still. And I'm just wondering what the fuck's going on over there.
Well,
man.
you know what's really disgusting too is the fact that if you look at the 2016 census, Flint has the highest poverty level in the entire country among cities with a minimum of 65,000 residents, which means this is another attack on the socially poor.
Because they can't defend themselves.
Because they can't defend themselves. This bullshit.
It is.
This is what fucking makes me irate.
I mean, look at it too, and then you just things that happen. There's just ongoing health implications for the whole city for the rest of their lives.
How are they going to pay for that?
Yeah,
they can't afford anything as it is. They could barely probably afford what little housing they have.
And not just that, but unemployment rate's probably higher there.
Yep.
So I mean, they probably aren't insured. It's just a mess, T. And it's like you said, they just did it because you know what? There was no revenues coming out of that city. So you know what? We got to cut costs.
Dude, the average household over there in 2017 is $26,000. That's the average annual household
Income.
Yes.
Yeah, not the average household.
Sorry, the income per household.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? And you're going to sit there and you're going to take advantage of these people and try to cut corners on their water
because they can't defend themselves.
Right, a basic necessity for life.
I mean, people got to put that into perspective, T. I mean, think about it. Those are one of the things here we take for granted.
Oh yeah, we do.
You know, we talk about that off air, and maybe we shouldn't have like an earthquake preparedness show, but we were talking about getting 50-gallon water barrels, stashing them at your place.
Stashing them at my place, yeah.
Because I think when one of these things happen, that's going to be the biggest issue. I keep saying that to you. You know, we got to load up on water because we don't realize how easy it is to go get it. And if our water supply gets cut off,
oh, we're screwed.
People don't realize what a madness it's going to be to try to get it.
Yeah, and you know, it's the other thing is my son's a prepper, and he's been pushing me for that.
Yeah, and I believe it. I think that we're not prepared for these things, and situations like this we wouldn't be able to prepare because it's been going on for years.
Right.
But a situation where there's a catastrophe or something else, what I'm trying to say is, I guess, try to put ourselves in those people's shoes. And trying to deal with their day in and day out lives. I can't take a shower in my water?
No, because you
got to figure out how to bathe yourself another way.
Right.
That's crazy.
But how can you afford to try to figure it out? That's the other thing.
Right? I mean, what are you doing? I mean, we saw the pictures of the water, how bad it was. You can't even try to boil that.
No, you can't.
It's going to turn into soup. So, I mean, I don't get it, man.
You know how like a lot of people always say, oh, when you go to a different country, especially, you know, certain third world countries don't drink the water. You know, only drink a bottled water that's...
Yeah, this is our water here, dude.
This is here. This is what people are going through here. This is our listenership. These people in Michigan are our second highest state. And this is the type of things that they're going through. And this can't happen. And yes... Okay, we may be late to the party, but you know what? This is still going on. It, like I said earlier, this is just now starting to get better. Just now. What's taking so long?
I mean, you just start reading through all these reports, T, and everything you read, and it seems like all of a sudden the city's just saying, you know, yeah, we didn't do these things right. We didn't do all the tests. Some of those results weren't correct. I mean, and what's going to happen? Nothing. Is someone going to be held for this? You know what I mean? I just don't get it.
Here's something that strikes me, because exactly what you were saying right now. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed an executive directive going into 2019 that would require state employees to immediately report any threat to public health and safety to their supervisors. Isn't that common sense? Wouldn't you just fucking do that? Why does it have to be an executive order to do that?
I don't know. But I mean, here, you know, okay, I'm going to read some stuff to you, T. And this was sort of, we talked about the government sort of telling them, okay, you know what, we're going to put an end to the bottled water because we feel the water's good. So there's a statement that Dr. X brought up on some of the research. And despite the progress in the state of the city's water, residents remain skeptical of its safety. In April 2018, the state governor announced that Michigan would no longer provide free bottled water to its residents. This came shortly after the state approved Nestle's request for a permit that would allow the bottled water giant to nearly double the amount of water that it pumps. This was a painful blow to Flint residents who pay an average water bill of $200 a month for water they're still wary of. Meanwhile, Nestle pays just $200 a year to pump roughly 100,000 times the amount of water that a Michigan resident would use.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Well, and maybe this is a story for another day, but Nestle is a big contributor to water pollution around the world.
Regardless of that, my point is that the government's allowing this. You're going to go off to a side thing. I don't want to go on that.
No,
yeah,
no,
but
I'm just saying.
But the point is, look again with the government strongholding these people because they can't defend themselves.
Of course.
A $200 water bill, T? Give me a fucking break.
That's crazy.
I run my sprinklers all night, every day, whatever else. I don't get a $200 water bill.
Not even close.
I mean, give me a fucking break. And for water you can't do nothing with?
And we live in a state that's in droughts all the time.
Get the fuck out of here.
And we pay a premium for water, and it's still not that.
But they're going to let the Nestle plant pump 100,000 times that, and they only got to pay $200 a year. Get the fuck out of here.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, this is
it's
just
corruption
stupid.
at the highest level.
And these people need to be held responsible. They need to be slapped. They need to be taken to court. Fucking just whatever it is, something needs to happen.
They need to get beaten.
I mean, this is just, it's ridiculous, T. I mean,
I don't know. It just infuriates me when I start reading about this. Now, I know that things are getting better. I know that, you know, and we got this in some of the emails that we got where people were saying, listen, it is getting better, but we still need to be talking about it. We still needed to bring it to light, you know, because we're finding out now in 2019, they're going to be fixing, they're already fixing all the pipes. In 2018, they were fixing all the pipes. And in 2019, they're going to be finishing all this massive pipe repairs. But when they started doing the pipe repairs, it went down to 15 parts per billion. And then later in 2017, it went down to 12 parts per billion. 2017, it dropped to 6 parts per billion. And in 2018, as those pipes were getting fixed, it was less than 4 parts per billion, that's damn good progress considering that it was in the 30s before that. So it's better, but it's not there yet. And these people are being taken advantage of. Why is it taking this long?
it's sad, T. And the other part of this is we're going to talk about the lingering effect. And the lingering effect on that society now and the people it affected. I mean, it affected, roughly 150,000 people?
Residents, yeah.
You know, and they're trying to give them some federal benefits and things like that because they know, T, at some point, they're going to have issues. They've had at least a dozen people die from Legionnaires. 87 taken ill by that. I mean, the thing that's happening too, and what's going to happen, and a doctor was talking about it, is that there's going to be a silent pediatric epidemic. That all these people who have this poisoning in them for years and years, even when they feel they're okay, they're going to have babies. They're going to have things like that, and these kids are going to be, they're weak. Their systems are weak.
Yeah.
And it's really going to affect them bad. It's going to affect the development of the fetus.
Right. They're going to have behavioral, cognitive issues.
This is going to go on for years and years.
Decades.
And decades.
Decades, really. Because, and, you know, people that have the lead exposure are likely to have lower IQs. That's not their fault. That has nothing to do with genes.
No, because it's brain development.
It is.
It doesn't allow for the brain to develop correctly when it's in the fetus.
They don't even have a chance. They don't have a fucking fighting chance.
And that's what's sad is going forward, this is going to carry on with, like you said, for 50 years, 100 years before it starts.
We're talking a generation.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad, T. It's sad that our government would allow this. I mean, with all the shit the government did, and we'll get into that maybe some other time, 9/11, all that shit. But this is pretty bad.
This is fucked up.
I mean, because the reality is, to me, I think if you knew you had a baby that was going to have these issues, would
you consider not having a baby at that point?
Yeah, you basically have to say, fuck, I can't even have kids anymore.
Right. Because you don't want your kids to suffer.
You know, and this doctor that I was talking about is lady, Dr. Mona Hanna. She says basically the same thing you said. It's going to take decades after the exposure for this stuff to end.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. And it's sad, T. I feel bad.
It hurts, man. It hurts knowing this. But again, we're late to the game on this, but that's okay as long as we're still talking about it because I think the conversation still needs to happen.
I think the government, I mean, they're just trying to put their tail between their legs and fix this shit, and they just can't fix something like this.
You can't just, I fixed it and then walk away.
Yeah, you know, we're going to give you a grant, you know what I mean, for some benefits for a few years. It's all going to dry up.
You know it is.
When everything stops and the water gets back to normal, they're just going to say fuck it and leave them hanging.
They are, completely.
And there's not going to be any media coverage because it's dead. There's no big hype around it anymore. And these people are going to be fucked, T.
What?
And their children and their children's children are going to be fucked.
It's what they did to the 9/11 first responders. They're doing the same thing. They're fucking those guys. You know, and that's another topic for another day, but it's the same, just exactly what you said. Once it starts going away, once the public starts forgetting about it, that's when they're going to start pulling the funds.
You're absolutely right, man. You know, so, you know, we're listening to you, Michigan. You know, we feel you.
We're there with you.
Yeah,
we're with
exactly.
you. We may not physically be there, but we support you guys.
We're going to follow up this story again at some point, man. And you know what? We just wanted to put that out there for everybody to know what you guys are going through. Maybe we can get a little more traction and people a little bit more awareness. Because like we said, we don't think that the problem's over.
No.
We think it's just beginning.
Not
And
by
that's
a long
sort of,
shot.
yeah, sort of what we were discussing. This is the beginning of a huge issue for decades and decades. And we need to be smart about it and get in front of it. So
We got to keep it alive.
yeah, and that's why we're trying to give that pub to the Double I community to help the Michigan folks.
Oh, yeah.
In any
yeah.
way we can, guys, whatever it is.
Share that love.
So good story, T. Good story, Dr. X. We're with you, Michigan. It's sad. It's sad that we have to deal with shit like this, but hey, it's our world now, T.
It's where we live.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into some advertisement, man.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, T, did you hear about new Hopsy beer? It's a Keurig for beers.
I did, King. Hopsy partners with a long list of breweries, and they ship mini cakes to your home or your office, and they bring fresh beer to the comfort of your own home.
Go to hopsy.beer/double-I for great deals. This package includes a sub-home draft machine, 2 Hopsy glasses, 2 mini kegs, and a free membership in their monthly beer club. For a great low price, you got to check out that price, T.
H-P-Y.
O-S. Hopsy.
The Man's Corner.
All right, man. So getting into the man's corner, T. Today's subject is ass or teats. It's basically, man, yeah, it's sort of we're going to talk about what do you guys prefer, T? Do you think the majority of guys out there prefer a lady with a little bit bigger bottom, or do they like a little bit bigger top? What do you think? We're talking about not what we like right now, but just general public.
No, I think general public, I think it's more of an ass culture at the moment. Because you got girls like Kim Kardashian, Iggy Azalea, all those girls with the big asses, all that rump shaking.
Cardi B
with the twerking. But does Cardi B have a big ass? Nicki Minaj does.
No, Nicki Minaj. Same thing, man, right?
Well,
They look the same almost.
They all act stupid.
Cardi B was a stripper.
She was a stripper, you're right.
Yeah, and she came out and said that she used to punk dudes for their money and shit.
She used to rob them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but, I think we're, right now, most of the majority of guys, it's an ass culture at the moment.
I'm sort of agreeing with you, man. I think that's sort of what the flavor is right now. I think that maybe 10, 12 years ago, probably the other way around.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think a lot of it, too, is that just sort of how the women's body is, and the reality is, right? I think, to me, I just don't see a lot of women nowadays embracing implants. Less women, I guess. Because I see a lot of women that are, just say, smaller chested, right? And they're good with it, but they got a big boot.
Well, I think you're a little misguided.
Oh.
Because I think you're right in the sense that there's not a big push or the big thing now is breast implants, but there's ass implants.
No, yeah.
And the women are getting their asses done.
No,
so I think it just shifted. That's why I said you're a little misguided, because I think it shifted to the ass now.
Well, I wasn't even talking about that part. I was just talking about the breast implant part. So, but yeah, I was going to get to that too.
Well, because you said implants. So I'm thinking, okay, implants are
we
implants.
were talking about small chested women. So that's,
okay.
Just helping you, T. Just to
I'm
keep
just
on
saying
track.
you weren't clear. That's all.
All right, I'll be clear for you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no, I agree that there's women now that are so looking for the different booty that they're going to go get implants. But have you ever touched a woman with implants, T?
With a booty implant?
Yeah, okay, but let's go booty implant. I'm sorry, I wasn't
Sorry,
specific.
yeah, you weren't specific. I just said
about booty.
you're going to be clear.
All right,
I'm just saying.
Dr. X, do something about this, man, would you? Yeah, thanks, man. Booty implants, bro.
Yeah, no. No, I haven't.
I've never touched a booty implant either, but I've seen some of them, dude, that just look outrageously, like, too big, dude. And they're implants, like...
Yeah, I mean, now, there's different types, too, right? So, from what I understand, is some of it is where they take fat cells and everything from other parts of your body and they implant it there. So, it's more of a natural one.
That's injection.
Right.
So that's technically not an implant. An implant has to be a device or some kind of something.
Right, right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The saline pouch or the, I guess, still silicone pouch too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I
But
really
probably
don't
not.
know.
Maybe
Yeah,
a little bit more friendly to you.
I don't know. A fucking piece of plastic. Who knows, dude?
Yeah, exactly. I don't
Who
know what it
knows?
is. Yeah.
I have no idea.
But you'd have to be able to feel it.
Oh, I'm sure you would. I
Have
don't
you ever
understand how you
touched a
could.
woman's breast with implants in her breast?
Yeah.
Right? And you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You know they're implants.
Yeah.
Have you ever touched a woman with implants like right after the surgery before she's done the massaging and getting them soft and stuff?
No.
No, I have.
And how was that?
A little bit weird, man.
Is it?
A little bit uncomfortable. You know, especially for a woman who was smaller and went bigger. You know, really bigger.
Right.
Because their skin has to sort of set in. And
Because it was
stretch
stretched out?
Yeah. You know, it's a little
Okay.
painful for these women.
Oh, I would imagine it would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it to me. But I mean, for
And
them.
probably worth it for them too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of women want to do it because it gives them a little bit more self-confidence.
True.
You know, it makes them feel better about themselves, and that's really what it is, right? You do you, boo.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And some of these women don't really feel comfortable with the way their bodies are, and they want to do something. And if it makes them feel good, more power to them.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
I think it benefits men too. I think because men are
course.
really, you know what I mean? So,
Well, fuck yeah. I mean, of course it does.
I mean, for me, T, I think back in the day, you know, I'm going to throw this out. I don't think I consider myself either or. I sort of think I'm like, I just sort of like a woman for, you know, individual woman.
I think you're right. I'm kind of the same way because it depends on the whole package. You know what I mean? Like the woman with her, and we're talking just strictly looks. You know, they could have small breasts, big butt. It didn't matter. It's like it's how it's carried, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I was going to say is, yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I was thinking, you know? I mean, it's the same thing for me. I'm not looking at a woman for her tits, not looking at a woman for her ass. If I feel attracted to a woman and she's got either one of those and I'm checking it out, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking for either one.
Right.
And seriously, even if I'm looking at it from far away or whatever, they got to be a little attractive to me, my style, what I like.
Right.
Or I don't even give them a look. What for? It just doesn't do nothing for me. They can have a hot body, but I don't like the way they do whatever their hair, whatever
Well,
doesn't do.
we
it.
already established how you like the hair.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, it is
And
what
if
it
the
is.
hair's wrong, if they have a short bobbed hair or something like that, you
forget
don't
it.
like it.
Yeah, I'm not even
forget
gonna
it.
check it out.
It ruins everything for you. I know that.
Yeah, it's like looking at a dude, but you know what I mean. I'm just not into it. So I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that put onus on this T.
Oh, there's
So-
a ton of guys out
And
there.
that's
like
sort of
that.
what I want to touch on too, man. I mean, do you really think it's fair for women that guys are doing this, or I mean, is it? I mean, I think guys are shortchanging themselves.
Well, yes, because that's a two-pronged question that you just did. Yes, I do think guys are shortchanging themselves, but I also feel that for women, I strongly believe that women do the same thing though for guys. Just like what we were talking about, you know, like guys, of course, they don't get breast implants, but you know, with different features, that certain guys have better features when it comes to their ass. When it comes to maybe the bulge in their pants, who knows what it is. But women check out guys the same way, though.
No, yeah, I mean-
and I think they put emphasis. Some of them put emphasis in the same way.
No, and I agree with that, you know, but I think it's definitely more the other way. I mean, yeah, I agree with you,
Yeah,
but I think there's more women that are probably thinking like we're thinking. It's about the guy. You know, it's about if I'm attracted to him, you know, and I think he's good looking physically, whatever else. I'm not worried if he's got a good ass or a big dick at that point. At least to start with a conversation or something like that. And I think guys sort of think the opposite. They're thinking, okay, look at the fucking tits on that broad. I want to stick it in her pooper. You know, they're not thinking, hey, I want to have a conversation. Right? And I think that's sort of what fucks it up for a lot of guys, right?
So if I'm hearing you right, you're pretty much telling me that guys are a lot more shallow.
Than women in relationships? Yeah.
Yeah, guys are a lot more shallow.
Yeah, they're looking for just bam. I mean, if it was up to every guy and you actually set a date up with a girl, they definitely that first date, they want to have sex. I mean, right? I mean, 90% of them, 99,
yeah,
and the
that's-
other 1% is going to lie about it.
Right.
I mean, why would you even want to go out with the girl?
Well,
You know what I mean, right?
What's that old saying when you get set up on a blind date? It's like, hey man, is she hot? What does she look? What does she look like? Oh, she's got a great personality. Oh, you mean she's ugly? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like what you're saying. You know what I mean? Of course.
But okay, think about the other way. Not a blind date, one that you asked a girl out, maybe you had an attraction to, or somebody you saw or you knew, or at school or at work, and you got up the nuts to, hey, you want to go hang out? Yeah, sure, let's go have dinner. Okay, here's my number. Give me a call. We'll hook up this weekend. All right. Hey, you know what? Why don't you come pick me up at my place? Okay, cool. Go pick her up. Hey, you know, whatever. You're going to tell me not in that situation, not every guy would be happy if they got sex that night. I say 99% of them. That's my point. I mean, because at that point, you're already attracted to the woman. You were afraid to ask. You finally got up the courage to ask. She said yes, and you picked her up at her place. You got to drop her off at her place, right?
Well, okay. I think you're absolutely right. You're on the right
I'm
track.
just thinking about the general public.
No,
T.
I understand that.
So
that's what I'm saying.
90% of it has to be yes.
Yeah.
They're thinking they're going to get laid. They would love to get laid there.
Right, but
That's
I think
my point. Is that guys are definitely more shallow. They're not worried about, okay, how did the date go? Okay. Let me expand it a little bit because we're talking about this subject. She opens the door. She's got big tits. Her fucking blouse is halfway unbuttoned. She's got a nice body, mini skirt on, pumps. Just like, yeah, what do you think that guy's going to think? What's he thinking? I want to get laid tonight.
yeah,
Right? She looks hot as fuck.
yeah.
I want to stick it in her pooper.
Well, I don't know if he's thinking that, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, I'm just maybe I'm thinking what I would think.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But
Remember, we're talking about the
general
average
public.
guy.
Okay, all right, man. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, okay, T.
Average Joe.
I'm just like, what's closing my eyes, like envisioning a couple dates I had. And there were dates where I did that and opened the door and, man, I'm going to hit a home run. Nothing.
Good night.
Yeah, huh? What?
Peck on the cheek.
Fuck, I got to pack that fucker in ice on the way home.
I had a great time. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
pulling the Carl's Jr. What would you like, sir? Yeah, I'll take a
Large cup of ice.
a large cup of ice with a little bit of water. Okay, thank you. All right, thanks. Fucking get it out of there. Fucking take half the ice out. Fucking stick your dick in it. Because what are you going to do? Or go home and whack the monkey from whatever's in your spank bank that night.
Right.
Because you know you got some good cleavage shots or some leg shots or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can put it all together and make a porno. Right? I do that. Don't you do that? No? All right, go ahead. So I guess we're going to go, maybe, I mean, okay, now let's talk about, what do you prefer, T? I think we talked about this before in another show, but strictly, not legs. If you had a choice in a woman and you said the first thing that you want to make sure she has is the ass you want or the breasts you want, which one would you rather have?
That's kind of hard for me because I'm of the same school of thought as you are.
That's a lot of nuts.
Where it doesn't really matter. So it's kind of hard for me right now to be able to answer that, directly like that.
But you got to, man.
I know for the sake of this, I got to, but I'm just saying that one's tough. So I would have to say probably, I don't know, ass.
Okay,
I'll give you-
would this help make your decision easier?
Yeah. Okay.
Which sexual position do you like better? Doggy style or missionary?
Doggy.
Then it has to
That's
be
why
ass,
I said that.
right?
Yeah. I didn't say, did I say anything
I'm
different?
just
No,
saying.
I said ass.
Well, I'm just saying, right?
No, I'm actually just kind of picturing my wife in those jogging,
Yeah.
outfits.
Okay, you don't need to get the visual, dude. Look at dude, there's stuff coming out of your mouth. Dude, relax. All right, relax.
I'm cool.
Get the cup of ice, dude. Get the cup of ice.
I got a cold beer. I'm
You
good.
got a weird look
I got
on
a
your
cold
face
beer.
right now, bro. Don't look at me in the
Got a
eye
cold
right now.
beer. I'm eyeballing you,
look at me
boy.
in
Don't
the
you
eye.
eyeball me, boy.
It's really scaring me, T. I think for me, man, it's like you said, it's difficult, and only because I have the individual female philosophy.
Right.
I'm not looking for anything specific. First thing I want to make sure is I can talk to this woman. Second thing is that I find her attractive, even maybe a little intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to have a really good conversation with someone. It's a lot nicer. I've realized that.
It took you a while, though.
Yeah.
It's just now late in life.
Well, we talked about that a few months ago, too. It does. Sometimes it takes you a while to come around. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm probably going to go with breast, man.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I mean, I can understand. I'm all-time fave is, doggy. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I just, I like that part too. So I think to me, especially to me, like my ideal woman obviously would just be large naturally up there, which I like natural, obviously. Right. And just, be decent on the bottom. And I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. It doesn't have to be like ironing board on the bottom.
You mean like a book?
Yeah.
Flat like a book?
Remember last time too, man, I threw in one that you said, hey, that could be a did you know? I got one for you.
Okay.
Did you know that they don't sell G-strings in Korea?
Because they're all pancake ass?
Yeah. Fuck, dude, I was there a lot, so I figured I'm going to buy some lingerie, right? And take it home to my wife. And
Fucking liar. You were going to wear it. You were going to sit
whatever,
there. You were
man,
gonna wear it.
whatever.
Pour
dude.
some kimchi all over you in your lingerie and just lie there and
dude,
rub it
there's
on
some
you.
serious stuff goes on there, dude. Anyways, so I remember going to the women's section, right? And I'm this big giant dude walking around, right? So they're looking at me like
Godzilla.
everyone's just staring at me, right? Security's eyeballing me in the camera and shit. So I go and ask the ladies. I had an interpreter with me, like some women's undergarments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For my wife. Oh, okay. Come this way. And they were all like booty shorts and things like that.
Like the boy shorts or...
There were some like that.
or the
And
granny
there was
panty.
like the granny panties too.
Right.
Some that were a little bit more sexy than granny panties. But there's a lot of material there, man.
Which are kind of like the boy shorts.
No, they were like a V, but they were like, really
the
big.
wide V.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're so funny. He was like, fuck, this is it? Oh, you want... And then the lady said something, and the interpreter's like, yes. She asked if you wanted something sexy. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She takes me to the ones that's that big wide V, but they don't have anything on the side. Like they have a little gap for the waist, you know what I mean?
Oh,
the
so you can see the little skin?
Yeah, exactly. That was it. That was a sexy one.
Wow, that is bad.
So that's a did you know too.
That is a did you know.
So I guess guys in Korea would be looking for the ass,
Well,
right?
yeah, you would
'Cause-
have to.
yeah.
Well, but
Because there's women with breasts in Korea, T.
there are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then it would
some
have to
Asian
be-
women are small. Obviously, they're petite women. But
Right.
there's some, even the petite women, that have pretty nice breasts.
Okay, well then it would be the ass then, because they got that pancake ass.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's... I don't know, man. Again, I'm kind of like you, but I definitely think this is an ass culture right now.
yeah, I
At least at the
agree
moment.
1,000,000%. I agree with you 1,000,000% because it's like you said, the Kardashian thing is such a big thing right now.
Well, think about this. How many athletes are always dating all these Instagram models that you hear about?
Yeah, not just that, but I mean, how much do you hear that that reference of Kardashian ass?
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? She had a Kim ass or she had a Kardashian ass.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's out there right now.
And a lot of people say that's a fake ass too.
It might be, but it's pretty nice. I
Well,
like it.
it was big to begin with, but then she had it enhanced
she
even
doesn't
more.
have big breasts, right?
I don't know.
She probably shaped it because she's already had a couple kids, dog.
No, she's only had one kid.
Oh, I thought it was two.
The other one was a surrogate, and then they just gave birth to another one, but it was another surrogate.
So he bones another chick?
I don't know. I don't know the arrangement. Who knows? He could just go in, in a
Jack
tube.
off in a cup?
Yeah, in a cup, in a Dixie cup. Why not name it Dixie?
Why not just... I mean, come on, dude. Okay, first of all, you know that
Or Solo.
marriage isn't like... They're like hot crazy for each other.
Solo Kardashian.
So...
Well, because
I'm
they're
just-
both dumb as bricks.
Yeah, so he's probably banging these broads.
Probably.
Yeah, I would if I had that money. Hey, look, man, I don't fuck you but once a month. That's what you gave me for the marriage. You know what I mean? And then you
That
just
was the arrangement?
And then you just lay there like a fish. At least let me get the surrogates. You know what I mean? So you had fun the first time. Let's have another one. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah. So, whatever. So that's going to wrap us up for that bit, T. So, what's next?
Did you know?
Yeah, thanks for that lead-in, voice. Yeah, so this Did You Know, T. I'm going to go ahead and throw this one out tonight.
Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it's called Slippery Nipple.
What?
Dr. X makes these fucking things, dude.
This is what happens. See, I had no idea this one. Usually we go through this on a dry
Okay.
run. I had no idea on this one.
Yeah.
This is why.
Okay, this is why we have to stop with this Hopsy beer, dude.
Dude, I can't. I'm addicted.
Fuck, we're not even halfway through this show, dude. Fuck, this stuff's too strong.
I'm more than halfway through this.
We gotta
keg.
go back to our old stuff, dude.
No.
Yeah, dude, we gotta go back to the old stuff.
No, I can't go back anymore.
All right, man, because you guys are getting a little whacked out on this stuff. I'm scared.
You're there too. What are you talking
right.
about? Us?
Slippery nipple. Did you know? Men have nipples and breasts because all fetuses are female at first. Did you know? Did you know that, T?
No, I didn't. But I heard a thing that says anything with a nipple, you can milk it. Maybe that was in a movie or something.
That was in the Fuckers.
No, it was the first
Meet
one.
the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
Okay, so I didn't say the right, but you know what I meant when I said that. Yeah, that's what it was from.
Yeah.
Can you milk my cat, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a nipple.
Anything with a nipple.
It's
Can
a
you milk
boy.
me?
It's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you milk me? So, I mean, but the reality is, right, all fetuses are women.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
And the difference is, the reality is, the only thing that starts happening is if the clitoris starts expanding. And if it expands at a higher rate, it turns to a penis. That's really what happens. So, like in your case, it just didn't expand, T. Oh. Sorry, big guy. Just throwing that out there. Did you know? So what's next, man?
I don't know, voice. Where are we going now?
And now, sports.
All right, man. So, yeah, NFL's coming up, T, man. Things are starting to pop in the NFL. We're going to do some NFL on our sports today. A little bit of NBA news, which is a little bit sad for us here locally.
Yep.
You got some good MLB stuff. I like the stories you're throwing out there, Dr. X. You did a good job because you sort of had me read it at least. I usually don't read the MLB.
Well, because you got mad at him because there was some good MLB in there. And you're like, I'm not going with that. And he goes, no, just read it. Just pay attention to it.
Yeah, because it looked like it was so much.
It's not, though. That's
No,
just
it's
it.
not,
That
but
was
it's pretty
his
good.
point.
It's pretty good. So, yeah, you go ahead and run with that today, T. But there's a couple other stories, man, that I think are pretty good, man. Same thing. I didn't want to hear it, and then you threw it out there. So, we're going to start off with our NFL because, right, NFL is king here. Right? We know that. We want that to everybody to know that.
Really?
NFL's popping right now, T. It's the middle of training camp. Second, third preseason game going. I told you a couple shows ago, it was the last non-football weekend until February.
Right.
So my nuts are fucking getting all juiced up. Thanks to Manscaped.
I really don't need to hear that.
Well, about my nuts getting juiced up by Manscaped?
No, just juiced up, period. I don't need to know about your juiced up
What's
nuts.
the spritzer called? What's that spritzer one called? The crop duster?
That was the crop dust. No, the Reviver.
Reviver.
That's the Reviver. That's what you do after a long day.
Well, what I did, man, is I took a shower and I didn't want to do the dry thing, so I've been spraying that under there. Works great, too.
Really?
I like that stuff.
Oh.
Anyway, so...
Yeah, no, I love it. We'll get into that later.
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, just things popping in the NFL. So I think one of the things everyone's really throwing out there is just all the drama around AB right now. But
He's a drama queen.
I had a little spin on that. So I know you want to talk about the drama. Talk about the drama because it's there. So go ahead and frame that a little bit. And then I'm going to throw a little something out that I heard and see what you think about it.
All right. So what's going on right now, everybody that's listening to this probably already knows that AB went to the NFL and said, I don't like the new helmets. I want to play with my old helmet. He's been practicing with his old helmet. He showed up to camp with his old helmet. And he decided, no, I'm only going to play with my old helmet. And he filed a grievance and a complaint against the NFL. And the NFL said, we'll look into it and we'll make a ruling to see if we'll allow you to play with your old helmet and not the new one. Now, the NFL came out, 2 or 3 days later and said, yeah, it ain't going to happen. You have to play with the new helmets. And this is part of the trend that we've seen with the NFL. They're trying to limit the number of issues that these guys are having post-career with, the CTE. And they're not gonna, I knew they weren't going to budge on this shit, but he threatened to retire if he didn't get his way, like a little bitch. So what do you think, King?
Well, this comes after another problem he had.
Oh, with his toe?
No, with his feet. Have you seen his feet? Dr. X, pull up a picture of Antonio Brown's feet. They're burned completely off.
Well, he had
cryotherapy.
Yes.
And he severely... Dude, if you see the
Frostbite.
picture of the bottom of his feet, everything's burned off.
Yeah, I couldn't see that anyway because, me...
And that sort of fucked up what he's doing over there. You're not in camp because you made a mistake when you were in France to do this shit?
Yeah.
I mean... And the team's backing him. They're saying it was a freak accident, and it was. They just didn't have the right footwear on him. And he fucking burned the shit out of his feet. So he's already had a couple procedures to get the fucking pus out of there and all this shit. So that comes on the heels of that. He's like, fuck it, I'm not going to play with a new helmet.
No pun intended.
But okay, two things. First thing I'm going to say is I sort of understand him. You've been playing with something for 10 years. It's a discontinued helmet. The NFL didn't want to start doing lab studies on every discontinued helmet because there's 50 of them out there before they started this rule a few years ago. And I think they're taking a stand that they're saying, look, we're just going to certify 1 or 2 helmets. And that's really it. Some for linemen and some for the off players, right? Mm-hmm. Position players. Mm-hmm. And you got to think, T, and somebody put it in perspective, and this is not how I'm going to hit it, but this is not what I'm talking about. But if you're a musician and there's something a little bit different with your instrument, it throws you off. These guys are doing things at such a high speed, and I know they make it seem so easy, but he has a different sight line now, and it's going to make a difference. And Tom Brady already came out and said, look, it makes a big difference for me. I'm just not going to make any deal about it because I know we have to do it. Antonio Brown's not that kind of guy just to roll over. He's not the face of the NFL. He's the crapper of the NFL. So that's sort of what he does. But the other thing I was going to say was all this helmet thing and being away from camp. I heard this thing today, sort of, I guess, it's like not conspiracy theory, but somebody who's near the Raiders organization, it's an ex-player, sort of dropped the beans on what he was saying, what they were doing. That sort of the team engineered the thing about the helmet to keep Antonio Brown away from the field because of his feet during Hard Knocks. Because they didn't want that to get out, how bad it really was. So they show clips of him like sprinting, like high stepping, things like that in short bursts. But then they don't show him fucking collapsing on the sideline, grabbing his feet and shit. And this guy's saying that that's sort of what was happening there. So now it gave him another extra week and a half because he was away from the team. And this Hard Knocks thing's a pretty big distraction. So they're saying that's sort of the reasoning behind what was going on. It was sort of engineered by the team. What about that? I'm not sold either way on it. I'm just telling you what was on the sports radio. And it was a big channel, sports radio.
No, you know what? I hadn't heard that. That's brand new for me. And you know me, I'm not a conspiracy kind of guy. Actually, I'm an anti-conspiracy kind of guy. But it kind of makes sense. I can see how that can make sense.
The only thing that I'm thinking, T, and I'm just going to throw this out and we'll move on to the next one, is when the decision came out that he couldn't use the helmet, he's like, okay, no problem, I'll come back and play. So was he really considering retiring if he didn't have the helmet? He made one statement one time and a fucking reporter blew it up. And that's how these things happen. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think all of it was, and that's why I always say, man, you got to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt.
I don't think a reporter blew it up. When you make a statement that says you're going to retire, period, those words coming out of your mouth, especially a player like AB,
okay,
it's not blowing up.
Let's put it, okay, so I knew guys that were journalists or whatever else, and let's spin it this way. You know, hey, AB, what would happen, man, if they told you, you know what, you can never wear the helmet you ever wanted to again? You know, man, if they do something like that, man, you know, I'd probably retire. You know, but that's not the case now, man. So I just got to wait and see the decision. They take things out of context all the time, T. That's what is, it is historical for reporters to do that.
I doubt that happened in this case.
I don't, only because
AB's a drama queen anyway. He says things out of emotion.
Again, but even if he did, I still thinking there may be some fucking validity to these statements, because that Hard Knock shit's bullshit, dude. It really is. I mean, it messes teams up. There's really not many teams other than Cleveland last year that does good from those things.
Oh, it hurts the chemistry, I think, right?
I think they just invade what's going on, because, yeah, you just can't.
The clubhouse, like the...
Yeah, because they're like almost infringing.
Yeah.
Remember that one year,
so
I think
invasive.
they did it was it in Pittsburgh or something, and James Harrison kept telling him, get away from me.
Yeah.
Get away from me. They'd show him like every episode lifting weights or whatever, and the camera going up to get that shit away from me.
I remember the Houston one was pretty invasive.
Yeah, I mean, they were showing where J.J. Watt takes a nap.
Yeah, that was kind of weird in the back.
Yeah, and that little mattress he had set up
Yeah.
back there because he wanted to sleep between practices.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. It's his house.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
So that's enough NFL,
right.
T. Let's move on, man. Go to the NBA. Some sad news, T. Take this one.
Oh, this is so sad. So, our boy here in LA, Boogie Cousins, he signed this offseason with the Lakers, and, he was just coming back from what happened to him during the playoffs, what happened to him the year before when he, got hurt. And now he tears his ACL at a pickup game in Las Vegas. And he was using these pickup games to try to get in shape and everything like that, to try to come back from what was his thigh injury that he had during the playoffs,
Right. Well, just, I mean, you make it sound like he's just playing in a park. They're pros that play these pickup games.
Right, but it's a pickup
structured.
game. Yeah.
Well, yes and no. I mean, they're training. It's actual training camps. And these guys are they play pickup games.
But they're not sanctioned or anything like that.
No, it's a training facility.
Yeah.
For NBA players. So that's where he did it.
Yeah, and everybody knew right away that when it happened. I heard that everybody there knew exactly what it was, and everybody was feeling really bad. And they said that they knew automatically that he tore his ACL. And so, I don't know, King. I think he may be done. I think this may be the end of his career. He was trying to get that big payday. He was trying to come back from all these injuries. I mean, his injuries kind of started when he was with the Pelicans.
Well, yeah, he ruptured his Achilles, T, and that's what he came back from last year.
Right, and he was trying to prove himself
and then he
again.
blew out his thigh or whatever. Remember on that one thing when you were on the phone with me and you started laughing him, dog?
Well, because it looked like he just fell, and that's why I was laughing.
No, I told you he grabbed his leg, dude. Something happened. You're like, oh, no,
But
dude,
I
he's
saw it
an
in real
idiot.
time. I didn't see it the replay. You saw the replay part and said, oh, no.
No, I saw it in real time, too. That's why I told you, dude, don't laugh. He hurt himself. No, he didn't. He just fell.
It looked like he just fell. And I felt bad afterwards.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think he's done at this point, But hey, Boogie, hey, thanks for signing with us. Did he get it like guaranteed money for signing bonus? He had to.
Yeah, he had to. It's NBA. But,
so they're asked out of that.
But I heard today that there's a lot of reports saying that he may be able to come back this season. At the end of the season,
I think it's like you said.
like
you started looking at his history. He's just going to start breaking down.
He's already breaking down.
He is. He's in the middle of the
and
breakdown
he's a bigger
phase.
cat too.
Yeah. The big dudes just don't hold up when it starts breaking down, dude.
No, so I don't think he's going to be able to rebound the way he wants to.
I'm agreeing with you, T, 100%. So.
And it kind of sucks because he had a lot of potential for his career.
Well, no, he definitely did well, and the thing that I think the problem is with him is he sort of fucked up so much in Sacramento.
He did.
That it sort of messed him up because he really couldn't complete a legacy. His legacy is going to be known for killing Sacramento, being a dick over there, and getting kicked out of there.
And what could have been.
Yeah, and what could have been.
Yeah.
So a little MLB stuff. So the other day, man, I told you about Harper's Grand Slam because every time Harper does something, I fucking tell you about your boy Harper.
That was nice. I will say this. That was nice, man. In bottom of the ninth, he's 0 for 3 in the game.
No, yeah.
Fucking hits a grand slam to win.
Yeah, you're right. I do it just to rub it in your eye.
On you, Darvish, too.
Yeah, and I do it to rub it in your eye. You know that. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't really do it any other reason. But I came in today and you guys had this fucking story worked up, man. And you got to get into this team, man. This stuff's pretty fucking...
Okay.
All right, so we're talking about like him compared to another NL star.
Right.
Let's not name the star.
Okay.
Keep it anonymous and tell them what their stats are and all the stuff that you're going to break down.
So Harper has, on the year, 25 home runs right now. That's with the Grand Slam. He's got 25 jacks. Now, compared to another guy has 41 as of today at the time that we're recording this. 41 jacks. All right. Harper makes $10 million per year to do 25 home runs, and this guy makes $506,000 a year, and that was a $20,000 raise from last year. Are you fucking kidding me? If you're going to be a superstar, you got to do better than that. And if you look at every statistical category that a batter, they track for batters, Bryce Harper is shit compared to this guy that we're talking about. Bryce Harper, he has more at-bats and less runs batted in, less home runs, less everything. It's just sick, and I know you like getting under my skin, and that's why I'm doing this, is because I don't understand the appeal of a guy like Bryce Harper. The biggest thing the Dodgers did was say, sorry, you want that more money? We're not paying you, guy. Bye, and not signing that guy.
Well, because they're smart that they're going to know they have to give that money to Bellinger.
And that's who I was talking about.
Dude, Belly's killing it right now, dude.
Belly's destroying it.
Okay, you got to think right. Okay, T, the guy across town, Mike Trout.
Yeah.
This guy, he's the best player.
Best player in
100%,
baseball.
hands down.
Yeah.
Every
Most
year,
talented.
just fucking killing it.
Yeah.
He's at 40. Belly's got more than him.
Yeah.
He's the best player. He's making more money than Harper.
Well, he's making more than money than everybody.
Yeah.
He's the highest paid player.
And Belly makes $500,000.
$500,000. That's a $20,000
They
raise
got to
this
up
year.
him now, dude.
He's gonna be.
They have to up
They
him now.
have
Don't
to.
even get him fired up. You know what I mean? Just fucking, here's $10 million signing bonus.
His rookie year, he had 39 home runs, and everybody was like, "Oh, Belly's badass, right?" And he played his ass off. Last year, he took a little bit of a step back. He only had 25. Right now, he's already at 41. This guy's gonna eclipse 50 for sure.
He got hit in the nuts the other day too, T. You see that?
Oh, dude, that was disgusting. Did you see
Yeah,
that
he
thing
was
when he was
sliding
sliding?
into second base, dude. Fuck. It's just one of those 1 in 1 million shots, dude.
Oh, check this out. Check this out. Dr. X has it queued up on the monitor. Look at that.
Oh.
Dude, two different angles. Way to go, Dr. X. I like that shit.
That's a lot of nuts.
He got drilled
dude.
right in the fucking meat and
Wait.
potatoes right there, dude.
Aren't these guys wearing cups?
No, you don't wear a cup. Maybe a soft cup. You can't run in a cup, dude. It isn't Little League.
Well, I played hockey in a cup.
No, yeah, because you were a goalie.
Yeah, but fuck, dude, you got to move. You got to move and bend and be flexible.
Catchers wear cups when they're catching.
Well, they should.
Yeah,
No,
they
not
have
all of them
to.
do. I saw one get hit in the nuts. He was fucking crying like a bitch. I don't think he had a cup
because it's
on.
95 miles an hour, dude.
Dude, I took 100-mile-an-hour puck to the fucking nads.
Okay.
And it still hurts,
Yeah, exactly.
but
That's
I
what I'm
wasn't
saying,
crying like a bitch.
No, but maybe it was just shifted the wrong way or something
could be,
else.
'cause it
You know what I
does
mean?
shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've worn that shit, dude. It's backwards, T. Cups are made backwards.
The banana.
Yeah, why do they have the fucking big part
So
on the
big
top?
and so little. It
And then
funnel
fucking-
cones down to the nuts where it should be protecting the
it
other
should
way.
be the other way somehow.
Right.
Yeah, dude. I don't even get. Anyway, let's not go there.
Maybe
dude.
they could do something like, you know how you buy when you go camping and they have that little eggshell thing for the eggs that protect the eggs? Why not do something like that
No, I was
with the
thinking about
cups?
that little mesh sack that you put in the lantern and light.
No, but that's
You know-
mesh, dude.
No,
I'm
I know,
talking
but
about
it-
the hard shell shit. You know where you put
No,
the eggs
I know,
in?
I know, but you gotta like it'd be attached to something like some kind of shell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
But
gotta be,
it'd
right?
slide right up on your nuts.
And it'd be
And you
dangling?
could like cinch it a little bit to cover them all. Anyway, man.
Just make sure it's not flammable.
So, dude, stop drinking that shit. All right, man. So we're gonna go to another story. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one.
Take
T.
it, please.
Yeah, a little MMA story. You know, we talk about certain people and certain things in the MMA. Actually, a big fight tomorrow. T is Cormier and Stipe Miocic.
However you pronounce that,
Yeah, it's over here in Anaheim at the Honda Center. I might be going to that fight.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like the MMA. T. We talk about it, and boxing's just so bad, and
It is
there's
bad.
just no personalities. I went to a match over here in where the Chargers are playing their home games.
Yeah.
They have some boxing matches there where Triple G used to fight all his fights before he fought Canelo.
Yeah, at the tennis center, right?
Yeah. It's actually a pretty good spot for a fight because it's like you walk down into the stadium.
Oh, it's the sunken stadium.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I mean?
That's
you're
how
at
they're
the
building
level-
the new Ram Stadium.
Yeah, so well they had to because the ceiling was going to be too high.
For the planes, for LAX. and
Yeah,
all that.
exactly. So, yeah, man. So we talk about a little MMA here, and we like that stuff. So we know there's a big fight tomorrow. So I might go check out Damon Cormier tomorrow, dude. I like that dude. You know, it's only about 20, 30 minutes from where I live. So I might go check it out, dude. You know, it's not going to be sold out.
No.
You know what I mean?
For
So,
sure it won't be.
You know, I had a couple friends that had some tickets. They're like, dude, you can go get a ticket. I'm not going to pay at StubHub for a couple $100. You know what I mean? I'll go over there and get a scalper.
No, there's an app that's like a last minute ticket app that's pretty, it's supposed to be pretty cheap too. You might be able to find it on there.
Well, let me know before I go. I'll check that one out too.
Yeah.
But what we're going to talk about today is this guy who's always in the fucking news is my boy Conor McGregor, dude.
I'll make dumbass.
No, make ass face. They put
Or make ass face.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, no, this dude, hey, dude, you got to put your hat off to him, dude. In that one fight, that stupid ass fight with Mayweather, he fucking made as many as 20 MMA fights.
No, he did. He
and
made
he put himself at a level for marketing and things like that. Where
he
he's
made his bag.
Yeah, and he's going to he set himself up for the future.
He did.
You know, so he's smart, dude. You know, and then he had to go fulfill his contract. He didn't even want to fight. He fought Khabib, and when Khabib knocked him out, or choked him out.
Choked him out. Yeah.
And then when his boy jumped over the fence and cocked McGregor too. So, but McGregor fucking got into a beef, dude, at a bar. Walked into this bar, man. Just chilling.
Right.
Looks like, I watched the video a few times to see if I saw something. And I got to say this too about the video, T. Did you watch the video?
I did.
It looks like it's edited. And I know they edit it for content, for time, because there's starts and stops, like hiccups.
Right.
So I really don't know if it affected really what happened, but it sort of looked like there was this group of older gentlemen next to the group that he was drinking with.
Well, wait a minute. Older gentlemen?
Like 60-year-old guys,
yeah, these guys
70-year-old guys.
Dudes.
Yeah, they're older dudes.
They're old dudes.
Older gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, not older dudes. Older gentlemen.
No, they're old men. These are grandpas. Let's just put it that way. They're grandpas.
That I was being nice.
I know you were, but
so these guys were sitting there. Looks like they were just minding their own business. But then you could see like there was a little discussion going on between McGregor and one of them at one point in the beginning.
Right.
And then McGregor took off and he was grabbing these whiskey glasses. Not shot glasses, but whiskey glasses, buckets.
Yeah.
And took a bottle. And next thing you know, McGregor's back by the bar. And then he sort of like goes back where the guy is sitting. And the guy wasn't even really looking at him, T.
No.
It looked like he was looking away from him.
He was looking towards a bartender.
And all of a sudden you see, and because they have an arrow on it, because it sort of is like a little bit of a melee. And McGregor just cocks the old man that's sitting down. But the old man never reacted, never got up or nothing. And then they just took him out of the bar.
I think what I loved about it is the fact that the old man didn't even budge. I mean, he took that punch.
No, he took the punch.
So it's
dude,
either the old man's a badass or McGregor's a bitch. Like maybe his punch isn't that good. Maybe he's slipping. You know what I mean? Because that fucking old man took that punch and didn't even. It wasn't
like a fucking. He didn't wind it up. He just like jabbed.
But it was a jab. But still, dude, a jab's a jab.
Well, he could have been like dazed and knocked out. He was sitting down. It wasn't like he was standing up.
But he didn't even tip on his stool.
No, he did. He leaned forward.
You know
what I mean? But yeah, dude. But I'm just saying,
dude. Hats off to that dude for taking that punch.
We'll see what happens with McGregor. Dude, McGregor's getting all sorts of shit.
He's an idiot, though, man. And what?
But hey, any publicity is good publicity, bro. He's trying to stay relevant.
He should be thrown in jail for this because that's assault. It didn't happen here. It happened in Ireland.
Okay, I'm gonna say something too. What? You know what's gonna come out, T? Oh, you know what, man? It was a hoax. This guy was paid. The old man, it was staged.
You think so? I'm not a conspiracy guy like that.
He'd be arrested already.
This is Ireland. It's different, man.
You could sock someone in the eye in a pub because he talked about your arse,
right?
Or your mam,
or the sheep you're fucking. Who knows, dude?
Oh, dude, we got people in Ireland, bro.
Hey, hats off. There you go, Dublin. But what I'm saying is, dude, this fucking guy deserves to be in jail. This guy, he assaulted him and here's the reason why. The old man, all he did was turn down a free shot of that shitty whiskey. It was because Connor came in. He wanted to give everybody a shot of his whiskey. That was the bottle that you see in the video. He told the bartender that he wanted, pour whiskey out. Give me a bottle of my whiskey. And the old man just turned it down and said, no, thank you.
What did you call it?
Whiskey.
No, you said shitty whiskey?
Shitty whiskey.
Dude, in another episode, you're the one who wanted us to drink that motherfucker.
Yeah, it's I've already had.
I told you it was already expensive.
No,
remember
I know.
I told you.
Yeah, no, I had some. It's nasty, dude. This shit is nasty. It's
we
not
gotta
good
do the
whiskey.
whiskey show too,
we
bitch.
Do.
You owe me, Anticupo.
You and I talked about it. I talked through the bottles that I have.
No, okay.
And you want to steal a couple of them from me.
Yeah, dude, because you're not gonna drink them and they're good. You had a big party here, man. Those are the leftovers.
Right. And they're still brand new.
No,
they're not even open.
They don't get better sitting in your closet.
I know that. We gotta sit down and drink them.
All right, man. So yeah, we gotta pick one, dude. But here's the thing: what's gonna happen? This is about an hour and a half show, right? Hour and a half show. You're only gonna make about.
We're not gonna have a lot of content.
No, you're not gonna have a lot of content, bro.
I'm just telling you,
dude. I'm looking at you now, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is the last night with Hopsy, dude.
Here's the thing, dude. We're gonna have
to do post-show Hopsy.
No.
Yeah, man.
No. Listen, we're going to have to fall asleep here in the studio. Plain and simple. We're not gonna be able to drive home.
Oh man.
So
we're gonna have a sleepover.
We're gonna have to have a sleepover. Dr. X can tell us some ghost stories.
Dr. X can drive us home, dude.
Well,
Dude, you can
wait,
drive my car.
You're
Huh?
saying he can't partake then?
Well, he doesn't like to drink hard stuff, he said.
Well, yeah, maybe for the show he will. At least give him the option. You know?
No, dude, because then he's going to be hitting every button. Because he doesn't hit buttons
just
right
gonna
now. He's
mash
good because
them.
he gets into the show. That's what we were talking
It's
about.
like
the
when you're
last
playing
few
a
times.
first-person shooter and everything's going crazy, you start mashing buttons. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, man. So, yeah. All right, man, get on to the next one, man. It's a little bit serious, T, but I know you brought this up, so...
I
go
brought it
ahead.
up. I know you when you first saw it, you were like, what the hell is this? You know, but honestly, after we talked it through, I mean, come on, man. Dale Earnhardt Jr., NASCAR. I'm not a NASCAR fan. You're not a NASCAR fan. But we just had to say something about this, man. Him and his family were involved on Thursday in a plane crash at a Tennessee airport. And if you see the pictures of what that plane looks like after that crash, I don't know how they survived it. They all made it out. They were all safe. And that plane is just a pile of ash. That thing caught on fire. It's nasty. There was no landing gear that happened. I mean, this thing is crazy. The fact that his family survived, you know, that's right there. I just kind of wanted to say something about that because that kind of got to me. I was like, holy crap, you know, that could have been another tragedy.
You know, not just that, right? But I mean, this family's already experienced that tragedy when his dad died.
Exactly.
You know, so imagine something like that and wipe out your whole family in a situation like that.
And that's sad. That's why I had to say something. That's why I was like,
but I
you know
mean,
what?
you got, it's like you said. I mean, you throw out the reality here. I just saw the word NASCAR, and I was like, no way, we're not
triggered
going to
you.
go there. You know what I mean? But then, obviously, a story like this is a human interest story.
This is
see?
human interest. Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, no, fuck that, don't do it. But yeah, it's sad, and you're right, man. The reality is, it doesn't matter how much money you have, whatever you're doing. It's a private plane, but you know what? Accidents happen, and these guys lose their lives a lot.
And when
I mean,
it's,
start thinking about that, T. How many famous people have issues on these private planes?
what
Right?
was the golfer that was killed in
Payne
mid-flight?
Stewart.
Payne Stewart. There you go.
Well, that
In the flight,
the
during the
Mexican
flight.
singer too, Jenny Rivera.
Jenny Rivera. Well,
Same
she's not an
thing.
athlete, but still, yeah.
No, she's a figure. That's
Figure,
what I
famous
said.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, and they died the same way. The oxygen cut out. Everybody died,
Right.
and the plane just that was it. Ran out of gas.
Right. And that's what happened with Payne Stewart. Remember, the plane was still flying for a long time.
Yeah,
there was
because- yeah,
other
they couldn't-
jets next to him trying to make contact to see if anybody was alive.
Right, and that's what happened to the lady Jenny Rivera's plane too.
Right.
Right. So something like that, but it messed everything up. They crashed right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, same sort of thing. And you just realize that it doesn't matter what they have, how much money they have. Things can happen.
When it's your time, it's your time. When it's not, it's
just,
not.
I think what I was getting to, T, before you keep smacking me and before I say the good part is time is precious. And we have to know every minute it could just be over. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. We have to start realizing, hey, we have to think of the things that are good in our life and take care of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Dennis Lloyd thing, right? It's not going to be, I wish I spent more time at work. I wish I had a better cell phone. It's, I wish I spent more time with the people I love.
It's very true.
And that's what we got to keep doing, man.
So, yeah, I mean, we just wanted to kind of say something about that. I just wanted to throw it out there. And I'm really glad that him and his family are safe.
No, absolutely. And, you know, yeah, same thing. I'm glad nobody got hurt. You know, I'm glad they're safe. I'm glad everything's good. So what do we got next, T?
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, T, remember when I was telling you about that CSI accident I had? Well, fuck, now there's Manscaped out there, bro. You heard about that? You know, Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer.
Yeah, they have the Lawnmower 2.0 that has proprietary skin-safe technology, so the trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts there, King.
Yeah, exactly. Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past, bro.
Well, you don't really want to use the same trimmer on your face that you're using on your balls, man. That's just nasty.
Manscaped also has Crop Preserver, man. It's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why not put it on the smelliest part of your body, man?
Well, you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code DOUBLE at manscaped.com.
Always use the right tools for the job.
Your balls will thank you.
It's time for some entertainment. Because apparently everything you've heard up to this point has not been entertaining.
Thanks a lot there, voice. So we got our entertainment section now.
Yeah, what a fucking
We
guy,
haven't done this
dude.
in a while.
Yeah, but why is this guy bagging us already, dude? The voice, man. You heard that lead in?
I loved it.
Anyway, man. Yeah, but
I'm digging it. I'm
so
really
no, we
digging
touched
him.
on it last week, and we talked that we were going to do a movie review, T. right?
Well, yeah, and we did. We went.
Well, you didn't stand me up.
No.
So we were able to go.
I didn't stand you up last time, man. Don't even start with that.
Anyway, dude. Yeah, anyway. So what was the movie we were talking about, T?
We went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right. I think we're both, it's fair to say that both of us are Quentin Tarantino fans.
Oh, yeah.
So, we decided we're going to go see this movie prime time. So we went to a 9:40 showing? 9:30?
It was 9:30. But then after all the things, yeah, but it started at 9:30.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was pretty packed in the theater, man.
It was. There was a lot of people.
And it was good, and we were happy that it was packed because, we wanted to get reactions to the people, too.
Well, especially for you. People will help, more people in there will help keep you awake a little bit.
It did. It really did.
I think it did, yeah.
Well, you and your elbow in my side, I appreciate that, T.
Well, you're welcome for that.
Yeah, but I loaded up, dude. I got the jumbo tub ice, the no ice soda.
Right.
So I could just down the soda fast and get like
what was the candy that you had?
Whoppers. Dog.
Whoppers, that's the one.
I got the extra big box of Whoppers.
Right.
That's pure sugar, bro.
Dude, I know. But you needed it.
I did.
You really needed it.
Yeah, I was actually going to get some Sour Patch Kids because that's a lot of sugar on that shit, too.
Well, I told you I'd bring you a Monster Energy drink, too.
I can't do that.
And that's what you kept.
Dude.
You're like, no.
I can't do coffee. I can't do those drinks. I do Coke. Coca-Cola. Sorry, dude. Yeah, but see, Dick.
Wait, what?
Okay, Coca-Cola. I drink soda, dude. All right, at all points. It's yeah. Fuck, dude. I guess that didn't fucking come out right. Fuck, dude. What? Okay, yeah.
That was perfect. You set yourself up for that.
No, I did, but nobody calls it Coca-Cola, dog. But yeah, it sounded bad. But yeah, man, I'm not a Pepsi guy. I'm not a Dr. Pepper guy. I'm a Coke guy.
Right.
I drink Coke. That's my coffee.
Yeah, that's your thing. I know that.
And it gives me a boost. You know what I mean? And I use it for that. Coffee's too much for me. The other thing I used to drink a little bit of tea when I was in Asia, ginseng tea.
Oh, I can see how that could do that.
I take a little bit more of a diluted approach to it because what I did it the first time, it was a little bit strong.
Yeah.
And I didn't sleep for a couple days. But
I can just imagine you wide awake with your eyeballs.
Dude, I'm such a pussy with everything.
You are. You really are.
If I take a Vicodin, that thing's affected me for like 3 days.
It wipes you out, man.
Yeah, dude, it's weird, man. I don't get it. I'm an easy high. You know what I mean? I'm an easy lay.
You're an easy everything.
Yeah, I'm a cheap date, dog.
You're easy like Sunday morning.
Oh, I like that song, dude, man. Maybe we close with that, dude. Can we close with it, Dr. X?
Yeah, tee it up, Dr. X.
All right, man. So, so we went to see this movie, man. You got me sidetracked, dude, because it was a good time, man. We had a good time that night.
We had fun.
Yeah, we had some dinner, our bellies were full. Went out to the movie, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and do my review, T.
Go ahead and lead into this because, you and I kind of got into it right afterwards.
Well, okay, I'll get into mine, so you don't need to say nothing about it yet. Yeah, we didn't get into shit. But the reality is this, and I'm going to say this, T, that this is a very lengthy movie.
It's long.
Right, it's a good 2.5 hours, if not 2:40, something like that.
Right.
So it takes some watching. And you can tell in the theater, there were some people that it was getting long for them. Right, I mean, you agree with that?
Agreed 100%.
We saw a couple people that really sort of lost focus in a couple spots.
Yeah.
Right, and we pointed it out to each other. You even pointed one out to me.
Right.
And it was just like, I'm a huge Tarantino fan. This movie really challenged the viewer. It challenged the viewer for patience. It challenged the viewer for understanding and intellect. A lot more than people, I think, are going to give it credit for. And I think that that's what sort of made it a little rough in some spots. But I think overall, when you get to the end of it and you figure out and you have a brain and you can put it all together how that movie was, great story. Delivery was very good. Acting was tremendous.
Tremendous.
You want to, who did you like the most, T?
Well, my favorite actor?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think DiCaprio was amazing in it.
I love DiCaprio anyway. I know we talked about DiCaprio before that. I loved him at all points in his career. He did just a great job. And Brad Pitt as well. In the typical Quentin Tarantino, you had all these cameos and bit parts.
Oh, yeah.
Pacino was in it. Bruce Dern was in it. Dakota Fanning was in it. There were so many people on this, right? Luke Perry before he passed away.
Before he passed away, yeah.
So there were so many people, and this is the way Tarantino does his stuff. And then, it's It's a slow movie, T, but I'm going to use this analogy. It's a slow but quick movie. Because if you didn't catch on to certain little things that were shown, things that were said, you really didn't get what the movie was about.
Right.
You know, so...
You had to be quick-witted.
Right, so the way that this thing went and the way that things happened here is this movie really wasn't about an actor, a has-been actor, or a guy on the border of losing his career and his stuntman. It was a bigger thing than that.
Much bigger.
And it was a tribute to somebody who was slain a very long time ago. And if you really didn't catch that situation and know it, I feel it would be hard for you to appreciate that movie at a level like someone like myself or you. And I think that that's maybe one of the issues that some of the viewers are going to have with this.
Yeah,
I
you're
believe
right.
that, you know, when I watched it, I think the first comment I made is it was a very long movie for a very short climax. And I think that classic Tarantino movies had a lot longer climax in those movies. And I think when I first said that is because you look at these final scenes in a lot of his movies and they're pretty long.
Yeah.
They're pretty good size.
Oh, yeah.
And you get a good bit out of them. You get a nice piece to chew on.
Some good action at the end.
This was pretty quick.
Yes.
And I think that's what sort of at the beginning sort of disappointed me. And I thought maybe in the beginning they should have shortened the delivery up a little bit and then made the climax a little bit longer. But then I started thinking, T, his point wasn't the climax. His point was the delivery and the message in the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think might be difficult for the mainstream viewer to really appreciate. I believe that the movie was very well done. The actors were amazing. This movie, to me, if it was a 1 out of 5 stars, I'm going to give it a good 3.9, almost 4 stars. But I think it's going to take someone who really knows what's going on with it to really appreciate it at that level. There have been really good reviews out there. I've been reading a lot of good reviews. And the reality is this movie was made for something and a different message. And I really hope he can get that message out, T. So that's sort of my review on the movie. I'm not going to give my opinion yet. I'll let you give your review. I tried to stay a little bit. I didn't even really give away what the movie was about yet.
Right. We didn't even get into that. But, okay. So taking everything that you said and kind of expanding on it just a little bit, for me, I think you're absolutely right. It is a different type of movie. It's slow, but it's fast. It's slow, but you have to be quick. You have to be quick-witted. But the other thing for me, too, that I took out of it was the fact, kind of like what you said, if you're not quick-witted, if you're not following it, you're not going to be able to understand it. This isn't the type of movie like an Avengers where you just sit back and you turn your brain off and you're just being amazed by all of the special effects that are going on. This is not that kind of movie. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this movie was very well done. The cinematography in this movie was amazing. I think that the period, he got the look, the feel, the tone of that time perfectly. And you're right. You're the younger generation right now that are listening, you're not going to understand the whole Manson part behind it. I know we didn't go into that detail, but you're not going to understand it. But think about it this way. You're not going to get it. There were other little tiny things in there that you're not going to catch on to. And you actually pointed some of those things out to me that I missed a couple of them. And there's a lot of small little details that are very easy. I probably have to see it again and catch some more. But overall, I thought top to bottom, acting, hands down, second to none. Best acting out of any film so far this year. DiCaprio just gets better with age. I was not a big fan of his early in his career. I didn't like his style of acting, how his delivery was. Now, as he's older, I think I love his acting. I love his style, his delivery, everything. Brad Pitt, always amazing. I loved Brad Pitt in this movie. And to your point, all the little cameos. It was crazy to see these big name stars do these little itty bitty roles, but it's a Tarantino type film. And
And that's how he does it, you know.
Yeah.
And he always brings his same alumni. You know,
This one was missing some, though. I was a little surprised.
right. They're not always the same, but you look at it, even like the bit parts, Michael Madsen was in it.
Right.
The one lady who was Kurt Russell's wife.
Yeah.
She's in all his stuff. Kurt Russell.
Right.
So there was a lot.
But I think it's really cool because they're not there to pad their resume. They just kind of want to do it because it's a Tarantino thing because they like the guy.
Yeah, they're his friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually his friends.
And that's what's so cool about it. You know, but one thing that struck me as odd is, I don't know if you noticed this, King, but Tarantino wasn't in this movie. He loves to make cameo appearances in all of his movies. It's like a Hitchcock thing, and he didn't do it this time.
And I think you were waiting to say something because I was like, shit, I didn't even realize it until you mentioned it after the movie.
Right. I keyed in on that as soon as the movie was over because I noticed, okay, we're getting towards the end. We're getting towards the climax of the movie, and I still haven't seen him. And we didn't at all. So as soon as we got out and we started talking, that was what I hit you with right away.
You know, the one thing I noticed when we got out to you is that there was a lot of people talking. And I don't think it was so much like they were talking about how good the movie was. I think they were trying to still understand it. You know, so
Maybe.
rate your movie, T. What do you give your rating?
I give it a solid 4.5.
And like I said, I think it's right there at a 4 for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's not many 5s in my movie category. Just a few.
It's very hard,
so,
yeah.
But, I mean, it was a great movie.
I think it was. I love the scene with Brad Pitt and, well, it was Brad Pitt as the stunt double going against then Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah, I kicked Bruce Lee's ass.
Yeah.
And it's so perfect. Bruce Lee's telling him, look, I can't fight you. My hands are registered as lethal weapons. No, you know what I think it is, man, is I think you're a little dude and you really can't fight anybody.
And you got a big mouth.
Yeah, you got a big mouth and you can't fight.
Yeah, dude, that was perfect, you know. And that was on the set of Green Lantern.
Yeah, exactly, because he's Kato.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, that was fucking awesome. Bruce Lee, for the record, I was not getting my ass kicked. You know?
Yeah, what are you doing? What was his name? What was it?
I don't remember the...
Cliff. Yeah, Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cliff, what are you doing?
Well,
and
the car.
And Kurt Russell comes out and he's like, what's going on? Cliff was over here kicking Bruce's ass. For the record, he wasn't kicking my ass. It's not what the car door says.
Right. That was fucking perfect.
Fuck, dude. He fucked up that car.
He did. He fucked up, But Bruce
it's
Lee.
Classic Tarantino, even in a serious, pretty graphic or understand to be graphic, which this movie wasn't no graphic violence either.
It wasn't. It was a very
clean movie.
Different movie than what we're used to from a Tarantino.
Now, framing the whole thing, this was supposed to be, and what I keep reading about, and we talked about this as well, it was a tribute to Sharon Tate.
Right.
And Sharon Tate was a victim of a Manson murder.
Correct. The Manson family murder.
Correct. And she was married to Roman Polanski, and there was a lot of controversy about her death, when it happened, that, maybe because he was out of the country.
Right.
He wasn't there. He had a friend staying there. And this movie, in the beginning, when, DiCaprio and Brad Pitt were at his house in the Hollywood Hills saying, you own when you get your money, man. Cliff, that's what you do. You don't rent because it says I live here.
Right,
and I'm going to stay here. This is my place.
This is mine.
And then all of a sudden the guy pulls up in this little English sports car or something, right?
Yeah.
Believe that? That's Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski lived next door to me.
He's my neighbor.
The hottest director out. So we know already there's something there with Polanski.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, they start showing a bit. And I think that was sort of touching. And I believe that there was a movie scene. And Margot Robbie is the actress's name that plays Sharon Tate.
Right, yeah. That's her.
Margot Robbie's pretty hot. And it was a pretty compassionate moment because it sort of showed her as a real person. Not as just a media figure who got murdered when she was pregnant 8.5 months.
Right.
And I think, to me, looking back at it, that was probably the best acted moment in there because it was sort of giving her life again. It was sort of taking this figure that the only way people nowadays even knew her, they didn't even watch her as an actress, really. They knew her of the story.
of her death.
And now you put some compassion to her, and how they showed her really just enjoying that movie and the people's reactions to her scenes in the movie. She was an actress.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about that last night, and it was just like, wow, man, you know what? I really think that was the big message he was trying to send. And we talked about the end a little bit, man.
We did.
So, at the end, what happened was this Tex guy, and
Spoiler alert for any of you who haven't seen it. If you don't want to hear this, you could turn it off now. No, don't turn it off. But no, seriously, just suck it up. Anyway, go ahead, King.
fuck it, dude. It's been out for weeks. I tell you, by the time we do our reviews, it's already been out. Fucking if they
Dude,
haven't seen it.
how much hate mail did we get the last time when we did something?
That was
in it?
John Wick.
Right, but then that had been out a week, and people were like, no, and they got mad. Okay, I'm just saying this.
All right, so you gave the disclaimer.
Right.
All right, so we're going to have to do the voice. Is going to have to do a disclaimer, dude.
Oh, we're going to have to get a disclaimer.
Yeah,
A little
if
spoiler.
you don't want to hear this shit right now, turn your shit down for 10 minutes or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, basically, yeah, at the end, it was, it showed the Manson family people going up there, and it seemed like they were going up there to kill Sharon Tate, but there was an altercation with Cliff, the stunt double, at a ranch that was very
Earlier in the movie.
about that where the Manson family was held up
At Spawn
and where they
Ranch.
stayed at Spawn Ranch. And when they went up to either find, we're not really sure because he started talking about that, were those Manson family members there to kill Sharon Tate, or were they there to mess up Cliff for beating the boy's ass that day?
Right. It was sort of
And-
not clear.
And then Tex and Squeaky were in that car, correct?
With two other people.
No, Squeaky wasn't in the car.
Squeaky was in the car. There's three people
There was
and Tex.
it was two girls and Tex.
It was three girls. One took off. Original.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
four
She took off with the car.
with the car. She said, "Oh, I left my knife in the car.
Right.
Can I borrow the keys?" And she went back, and they were waiting for her, and she took off.
Yeah. So there was two, and Tex and they ended up getting whacked, dude. And it was a pretty good scene.
All three of them.
Yeah, but we made the comment: were they there? And is this movie saying, like, in this movie, Sharon Tate didn't get killed? Because after those three got killed, remember they had the scene with her and DiCaprio when he was hugging her.
Yeah. Well, because
Remember? So
yeah.
what happened, neighbor?
right.
You know what I mean,
Right.
right? Oh, these three hippies came into my house and I had to put them down.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah.
You know, and you brought that up. That was your point, and I hadn't thought about that. That was kind of, I was thinking at a different angle, but I was thinking about this because that really stuck with me. Do you think that was Tarantino's way, since this was kind of his homage or ode to Sharon Tate? Maybe this was him saying, maybe in a different way, if I could have rewrote reality, this is how I would have rather have it be because I miss her.
Yeah, and that was my point. That's what I was saying. That's sort of his version of how he would have liked it to be.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what he's saying. Because the reports I'm reading, we talked last night, is that he knew her personally.
Yeah.
So he had to be pretty young at that age, but he knew her. And it was a tribute to her. And it was actually, when you think of it that way, I'm even liking the movie even more. You know,
Yeah.
because it sends a different message than what he's used to.
Way different message.
And like you said, again, cinematography, acting, the actors, the casting, it's just always knockout with him.
It was.
And hats off to you, Tarantino.
Oh,
Love
yeah, it was a
man.
big win for me.
And reality, right, T? Did I even sniff falling asleep? And
No.
this was a long movie.
No, it was long and you didn't. I was very proud of you.
And I'm into the movie, but I think it's hard for a lot of folks to really stay into a movie that long.
I get it because you were, you know, when you and I were talking about it, and we got a little heated at first, you know, because you were saying things and you were saying, you know, it's for the masses, you know, and you were thinking of in general.
Correct. Not
you know,
our opinions.
Not our
yet.
opinion.
Yes.
And I kept saying, well, who cares? You know, and you're like, no. And that was your argument. You were arguing from that point. And I understand that, you know, and you're right. You know, for the masses, it's kind of hard. It'd be a little bit difficult. I can see that.
It's because they weren't around at that time and there's no relevance. If something would have happened, say a couple years ago, or something came out, or Manson got killed in jail or something.
Well, okay, if this would have
It
came
would've
out
just
when
been
he
him.
died in jail, because remember, he died, last year?
Right.
He died last year in jail.
But even when that happened, it wasn't as dynamic. So it had to be something else, maybe.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because it really, I mean,
Who knows? Maybe he was just trying, maybe this was something that was, you know, a project that he had for a while that he's been wanting to do, and he's getting towards the end of his career.
Right.
And maybe he said, you know what, I got to get this done before I call it quits.
You might be right.
You know?
Because this was so different than what he usually does.
Way different than
I
what
mean,
he
there
usually
was
does.
some...
The social commentary is still there, like what he always does with all his movies. There's always a little social commentary in his movies.
Yeah, and there was some parts where there was some killing, and shooting, but it wasn't gore.
No.
You know, it wasn't like Django. It wasn't like shit like that.
It wasn't Kill Bill. It wasn't any of that crap.
No, Kill Bill was pretty bad.
Or Django.
Django was pretty bad.
Django was awesome.
Django was
But
bad.
Django, if you notice, it had a lot of social commentary in there.
But see, and that's what I sort of told you. So I sort of was thinking, okay, look at those movies I talked about, even Pulp Fiction, even Reservoir Dogs. The Reservoir Dogs had a pretty good delivery with a pretty good climax at the end.
Yeah, it did.
When all these guys killed themselves.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, the last scene in the coffee shop.
Right.
Pretty long.
Pretty long.
Right?
A lot of build-up.
There's a lot of stuff there. Django was the last scene when he was going to get killed, and he came back and killed everybody.
Right.
You
He
know what
walked
I mean?
back in there,
And killed everybody.
Yeah.
Remember, he set up all the stuff, and they came back from the funeral, and he killed them all, and then took off with his wife and all that stuff. Yeah.
That was awesome.
So the delivery was very similar. It just was very longer delivery with a shorter climax. And the more I think about it, I just, like I said, to me, it was a great movie.
It was. Like I said, for me, it's a 4.5 out of 5.
I've talked to 4 people, and it's 50-50.
Really?
Yeah. I talked to the 4th person today. I'm not really going out looking, but I just, went in a conversation or something.
Yeah.
3 women, 1 man, 2 and 2.
2 and 2. So for them, what is it more of? They're more action kind of people? Like, everybody's got their own flavor.
I think the 2 knows one of them was more like an action person.
Right.
And didn't really appreciate that. Where the other one was maybe not really appreciative of the understanding of what it was. Right. And that's sort of the tough thing, T, because people aren't thinking at that level when they're going to the movie. They want to relax and not have to think.
Okay, but don't you think that there's, and this goes with everything, but a lot in movies, that there is a dumbing down of the moviegoer because all they want to do is sit back and go, yeah, pretty colors.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And it's a dumbing down.
Well, that's exactly what I just said, T, is that's the expectation of a moviegoer. So when you're going out there and you're making them think in a longer, lengthy movie, sometimes it just doesn't catch with them.
Well, yeah, a lot of times it doesn't.
And they just don't find that story relevant, maybe because of their age, too. Remember, this happened in 1969.
True. That was before I was born.
Right, exactly. So,
but I still grew up understanding the gravity of the Manson murders.
Not just the gravity of it, but you understood history and the things, even local histories to us, because that's how we were raised. We had to read encyclopedias, we had to read stories, we had to read newspapers.
Britannicas, man.
Right?
We had that whole set.
You got in trouble, fucker, you got to read the whole Newsweek. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
Get in your room, read the fucking Newsweek, write a report. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right. It was a different type of thing.
Yeah. Fuck, because mom started tired of hitting us.
Well, because it
breaking all her spoons.
Yeah, it became ineffective at one point.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and wrap that up, man. That shit got a little bit long, but it was a great movie.
It was a great movie. I would definitely tell anybody who's interested in watching a very good movie that's not going to be one of those just blow them up type movies.
Well, I'm going to say, too, right, a couple episodes ago, we were sitting there saying, when are these fucking good summer movies coming out? This is a good summer movie.
This is a good summer movie, man.
Absolutely is, man. Hats off to you, Tarantino. Great job.
Great job.
So what do we got next, T?
That's it. We're going to be wrapping up.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, no, man. Another show just flying by, man. Dr. X, you're the man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great job this week.
Great job again, man. We appreciate you. We're going to get you some more airtime with some different stuff. Thanks to everybody again, man. We want to make sure you visit our website, www.thedoubleshow.com.
Don't forget our Patreon at www.patreon.com/The Double I Show.
Talk about our Twitter and Facebook, T.
Twitter, Facebook, and we're going to be adding some other social and other stuff coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, man. So again, we thank everybody for, putting this out there. We thanks to our sponsors. Hey, we got some grub today. We got Hopsy. Omar hooked us up with some food.
Man, that stuff was awesome.
Yeah, well, I didn't eat all mine yet because I didn't want to get too full and burp like you've been burping all night, dude. We got to edit that out.
Hey, wait a minute.
It smelled good.
It tasted great.
The second time?
That was a little bit of the Hopsy with the burps, too.
Yeah, no, exactly. But thanks to everybody again. Thanks to Dr. X. Another wonderful Friday night here in Los Angeles, T. And just want to say thanks again to everybody.
Yeah. And, everybody pay attention because next week we're going to be dropping the very last episode with King and the fantasy football extravaganza.
Yeah, and, T, we were going to drop it on the 30th right before it started, and sort of news broke out because we put that on our website. And we already got like 4 mails. Like, that's too late because, guys, it drafts.
Right. So I pulled that back.
Right.
So the post is gone now.
Yeah, so I think we got to reconsider. We might drop it maybe earlier in that week.
Yeah.
So guys can have it for their draft.
Yeah.
And, help them out a little bit. What do you think?
I think that's the right way to go because you and I have some.
What do you think about a same-day turnaround, T, for our listeners?
Ooh.
Maybe like a drop in the middle of the night after a Friday recording?
Oh, Dr. X, you're going to have to start editing quick.
Look at he put up a sign, don't make any mistakes. Fuck, all right.
So he can all he has to do is compress the file and post it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just get out of here, T, man. Yeah, we want to say thanks again to everybody for sticking around, man. It's a Double I show. I'm R.W. King, and with me,
Sweet Tea.
We are going to go ahead and sign off, so
we are
out.
From California.
Checking in from the left coast where we take sound that combines sunshine with rhyme, move 'em around. Take it slow, watch the smoke we blow. Bring California swing and this thing for show. Well, hey there, baby, doll, dance the go-go. Off a little mentally, I see it in slow-mo. Hollywood, the east side, hub city, and Frisco. Guys with the flyers, fires up in the disco. Whoa, whoa, oh, now here we go. Mira, delincuentes, bum rush the show. Aquí in Cali, where trees so sweet and these habits